Thank you very much. We're very excited to be here at DTG. This is a game changer of a show for us. We've done many shows in Vietnam. This is our first show in Dhaka. We have a great partnership with BMIT here in Dhaka, which we signed back in November of 2022. We are basically an MES solutions, which is a factory floor solution for garment and apparel factories, accessories, and also shoes. So when you look at our products, we look at being able to make the big game change on the factory floor. We want to take paper out of the process. A lot of the things that we've noticed when we've gone to factories in Bangladesh is that they're heavily driven with clipboards and stopwatches and paper. We jokingly say they're up to their waist in paper. And our solutions want to take that paper out. They want to have real-time data. We want to help improve efficiency in factories. And with our 5 solutions that we offer, we can cover that in each thing. What is interesting about our solutions, they can be used combined or they can be used standalone. So when we look at one of our first solutions, it's a quality solution. Quality solution is very important to make sure that you stop any defects before they get to the end of the line. Fabric inspection, making sure that before you put your fabric onto a cutting table that there's not garbage there, that you're going to be able to get the complete quality out of that roll of fabric. So quality is really the starting phase of that. We call this our Team Connect because this is something very easy to implement into a factory. Then we look at our LTIE. LTIE is the next one. This is in industrial engineering. So what we see is we see a lot of people that are still using Excel spreadsheets to be able to balance their lines and to do this type of stuff. We don't think that's very efficient. So when we look at our system and we look at the algorithm that our system has, it pairs the best operator with the operation that can be done in that sewing minute value time the best. So when we look at being able to balance a line now, instead of it taking 3 or 4 or 5 days, your line can be balanced with our algorithm in the first day or 2. So when we look at that, there's a real dollar valuation that can be realized from that standpoint. So that's something that's very important. When these factories are being crunched for better pricing, and these type of things, they're not going to be able to do this with supply chain issues. But if they improve their efficiency by 0.5% or 0.75% or even 1%, then there's a real recognition of dollar value being made there. Again, when we look at our LT Mechanic, when you have machines that are running properly and they don't break down, you're becoming more efficient. You're not having any what we call NPT, non-productive time. Again, if you can reduce your non-productive time over a period of time, again, there's a dollar valuation there that can be realized. When we look at our warehouse solution, this is an automated warehouse. It's broken down with your trim warehouse and your accessories warehouse and your fabric warehouse. So you have 2 separate warehouses for your trim and accessories and for your fabric. Units of measurements are really configurable from that standpoint. We let the people decide what unit of measurements. The great thing about our software is it's not customizable, but it's highly configurable. And this is something that's really, really important because we can make a great software that anybody can use and we can configure it to whatever their terminologies are or whatever they'd like to see. So it really keeps the cost down to be able to have something that's configurable and not customizable. The biggest game changer in our line is our LT production, which is a full track and trace production facility. And again, we let you choose the checkpoints that you want to track and trace. So this is something that when I look at our competitors out there, nobody has 5 factory floor solutions. We have competitors out there that are brand driven, that a brand says you must use this software. And I always say to people, okay, if you stop receiving orders from that person, would you still use their software? The answer is typically no. My software is very sticky. LT Labs is a sticky software because it's not dependent on a brand. It's dependent on you using it and the adaptation in the factory to be able to continue to build efficiency, real-time data, transparency, all things that are very important that are being driven by brands because brands want to be able to get a lower price. They can only get a lower price if you're more efficient. So when you look at LT Labs in general, any of these solutions can be used on a standalone or they can be used combined. And there's really great synergies. When you look at IE and Mechanic, if you set up a new line, then the changeover request is sent to Mechanic. So when you have these type of synergies that don't need to be synced, that are all real-time connected, this is the game changer for the Bangladesh market. Again, we've seen many factories here, many large brand factories that are still, as I jokingly say, in 1972. When you see a dashboard and you see clipboards hanging over it compared to a dashboard like this, it's a compelling argument to say, look, it's time to change things. It's time to understand that digital transformation in this industry, which is the least digitally transformed industry out there, needs to happen. And it's going to be what we consider the digital revolution 4.0. And Bangladesh, I think, would be a great starting place for this. So. Well, again, like I stated, I think a lot of other companies are really dependent on a brand telling you to use this, to where we have no brand involved in the game. What we bring is a pure factory resolution software to you. And again, it can be used standalone and it can be used combined. So where other factories really focus on maybe not a factory floor solution, maybe a final inspection solution. So when you look at a complete factory floor solution, there's no one else out there like LT Labs that can be able to do this. We have, again, with our partners here with BMIT, we have boots on the ground. We have an amazing training and onboarding. Something we very much pride ourselves on is when we do an implementation, we do this over a 3 or 4 month period. We have a 4 or 5 week hypercare to where we want to make sure that once that software is implemented, the adaption is being accepted, the adaption is accelerating, and then we'll have weekly calls in that hypercare period, which is something really, really important. We always create WeChat or WhatsApp groups to be able to make sure that there's all that connection between the factories and our customer service team. So when we look at that's something that's really important, that we understand that it's not just pre-sales, it's post-sales customer service as well. That really makes the game changer. And I think anything when you're doing with software, people want that confidence that they know that there's going to be somebody there to support them. And again, with our partner with BMIT here, they're legendary in Bangladesh, and that's something that we felt was a real deciding factor in choosing to partner with BMIT, because we knew they could support that after-sales service. It's something very important to us.